You've been told that silence makes you slower, that being alone dulls your edge, starves your motivation, leaves you stuck in your own head. Everyone says you need people around you to think clearly. They're wrong, and neuroscience just proved it. When you're alone, your brain shifts into a completely different processing mode, one that's faster, sharper, and more efficient than anything it can access in a crowd. Scientists call it default mode cognition, and it turns out solitude doesn't shut your brain down. It turns it up. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to trigger this state on command, how to access the version of your mind that thinks 10 steps ahead while everyone else is still catching up. But first, you need to understand why your brain does this, because what I'm about to tell you is going to completely change how you see every quiet moment you've ever felt guilty about. Think back to the last time you were truly alone, not scrolling, not half listening to a podcast, just alone with your own thoughts. Did it feel uncomfortable? A little too quiet? Like something was missing? That discomfort isn't a flaw in you. It's a symptom of something much bigger, a slow, cultural rewiring that's been happening for over a decade, and almost nobody talks about it. Here's the pain point nobody wants to admit. Most people today have lost the ability to be alone with their own minds. Not because they're weak, because they've been trained, hour by hour, notification by notification, to treat silence as a threat instead of a tool. And that training comes at a cost you're probably paying right now without realizing it. If this sounds exactly like you, if you've ever reached for your phone the second a room went quiet, drop a me in the comments below. I genuinely want to see how many of you have felt this exact pull. Picture what that cost actually looks like. Every time you fill silence with noise, a video, a message, a scroll, you interrupt a cognitive process your brain was in the middle of running, something called the default mode network. And this is where you come in. Right now, as you're listening to this, your brain has two primary operating states. One is called the task-positive network. It activates when you're focused on a specific external task, like answering an email or scrolling a feed. The other is the default mode network, and it activates almost exclusively when external stimulation drops away. But here is where it gets complicated. These two networks are, neurologically speaking, mutually exclusive. You cannot run both at full capacity at the same time. Every notification, every conversation, every piece of background noise you allow into your environment forces your brain out of default mode and back into task-positive processing, which means every time you avoid silence, you're not protecting your brain from boredom. You're actively shutting down the exact network responsible for your most complex thinking. Pause for a second and think about this. Some of the most consequential breakthroughs in human history, Newton under the apple tree, Einstein on his solitary walks, Tesla pacing alone at 2 a.m., didn't happen in meetings. They didn't happen in group brainstorms. They happened in silence. That's not a coincidence. That's biology. But here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. The modern world is engineered, deliberately, to prevent you from ever reaching that state. Every app on your phone is built by teams of behavioral psychologists whose entire job is to interrupt your default mode network before it can finish a single thought. Why does your brain sabotage you right before it's about to solve a hard problem, tempting you to check your phone at the exact moment you're closest to a breakthrough? That question has an answer, but you're going to have to wait for it. Because first, I need you to understand what's actually happening inside your skull during those quiet moments. Because it's stranger and more powerful than you think. When your default mode network activates, it doesn't just let your mind wander. It begins running background simulations, stitching together memories, unresolved problems, future scenarios, and past experiences into patterns your conscious mind hasn't consciously processed yet. Researchers at Cornell tracked this activity and found something remarkable. People in low stimulation, solitary states solve complex, multi-step problems significantly faster than people working in socially stimulating environments. even when the social group included collaborators actively trying to help. Alone, your brain isn't idle. It's doing the equivalent of running dozens of simulations at once, silently, in the background, and it can only do this when nothing else is competing for bandwidth. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. If solitude is this powerful, why does it feel so uncomfortable? Why does your body practically scream at you to break the silence the moment it starts? That discomfort has a name, and understanding it is the first step to using it instead of running from it. We'll get there, but first, there's a darker layer to this, one involving your nervous system's oldest, most primal alarm bell, and why it's been misfiring for exactly the wrong reason. That darker layer is your nervous system's alarm bell, a mechanism psychologists call evolutionary aloneness anxiety. For most of human history, being physically separated from the group wasn't peaceful. It was dangerous. A lone human on the savannah was a target. So your nervous system learned a shortcut. Silence equals threat. Isolation equals vulnerability. And even now, tens of thousands of years later, that ancient alarm still fires. Even when you're safe on your couch. Even when the only thing hunting you is a group chat notification. And that's the mechanism working against you right now. Every time you feel that itch to break the silence, that's not weakness. That's a 50,000-year-old survival circuit misfiring in a world it was never built for. Your brain thinks it's protecting you. It's actually sabotaging your sharpest thinking. If you're getting value from this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the one pattern psychologists rarely talk about, the exact mechanism that separates people who use solitude as a weapon from people who run from it their entire lives. That pattern has a name: solitude tolerance. It's not a personality trait. It's a trained skill, like a muscle that atrophies the moment you stop using it. People with high solitude tolerance don't feel that ancient alarm less. They feel it exactly as strongly as everyone else. The difference is what happens in the next 10 seconds. Instead of reaching for a distraction, they've trained themselves to sit inside the discomfort just long enough for the alarm to pass, and for the default mode network to take over. 10 seconds. That's often all it takes. But almost nobody makes it past 3. Now here's the dark side of that. Every single time you break silence early, every time you reach for the phone the second discomfort spikes, you're not just missing one moment of clarity. You're reinforcing the alarm. You're teaching your nervous system that the threat was real, that reaching for noise was the correct response. The more you avoid solitude, the louder that alarm gets the next time. It's a feedback loop. And most people spend their entire lives inside it without ever realizing they built the cage themselves. This is where most advice fails you. Most people will tell you to just meditate or spend more time alone. Vague, generic advice that ignores the actual mechanism. You don't fix a misfiring alarm by ignoring it. You fix it by proving it wrong, deliberately, in small controlled doses. Wait, don't scroll. This next part is the actual game changer, so stay with me. Unlearn this. Solitude isn't something you endure until your brain settles down. Solitude is a skill with a specific entry point, a narrow window right after the initial discomfort spikes, and right before your default mode network fully activates. Most people never reach that window because they break silence in the first 10 seconds, right when the discomfort is loudest. The 1%, the people who consistently produce sharper thinking, faster decisions, and deeper insight, aren't smarter. They've simply trained themselves to survive that 10-second window enough times that their nervous system stopped sounding the alarm altogether. That's the rule this video is named for. Not 1% smarter, not 1% more talented, just the 1% of people who don't flinch in the first 10 seconds of silence. Before I give you the exact method for training this, do me a favor, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this message reach people who are still stuck in that loop, still reaching for their phone the second a room goes quiet. Building solitude tolerance starts today, and here's how. First, stop treating silence as empty time. Every time discomfort spikes in a quiet moment, silently count to 10 before you reach for any distraction. Not because counting is magic, because it proves to your nervous system, in a small, repeatable way, that the threat isn't real. Second, protect one deliberately unstimulated block of time each day. No input, no output, just you and an unresolved problem sitting in the back of your mind. Even 10 minutes is enough to let your default mode network run its background simulations uninterrupted. Third, notice when a breakthrough arrives. It won't come while you're staring at the problem. It'll arrive sideways. In the shower, on a walk, in the 3 seconds after you close your laptop. That's not luck. That's your brain finishing a computation it started in silence. Do this consistently, and something shifts. The alarm gets quieter. The 10-second window gets easier to survive. And eventually, solitude stops feeling like something to escape and starts feeling like the sharpest tool you have. You were never broken for feeling uncomfortable alone. You were just running an alarm system built for a world that doesn't exist anymore. Now you know how to override it, 10 seconds at a time.